We're just going to do a quick walk around here as we're draining our break-in oil out of this 1380 inline race engine that we've built here over the past few months. After half a dozen times running, bringing it up to temperature, not a drop of oil to be seen on the back or the front of this plate. This is set up with the original style, what people call the scroll seal. Now, I really like these. I am not a fan, I've made no secret of, I'm not a fan of the rear main seals that are so popular that everybody goes, oh, that's the way to fix a leaky engine. I prefer the original setup. When it's done properly, like this one, they do not leak and there's nothing to ever wear out. And so you have problems with them when things aren't done right. And there's a gap in there that oil gets out. Then it's just a sieve, it's just going to leak like crazy. But when properly set up, you can have a look here at the front too. Pulley, the bottom of the timing cover, the oil pan intersection, the cylinder head, the water pump. Again, we use the 154 Evo water pump here. This is the high quality one from Mini Spares. And we elected to do away with the bypass hose, instead drilling a couple of holes, and you can see here at the edges of our thermostat to provide a little bypass while the engine warms up. So as we're getting ready to settle it into its crate, obviously this is our test flywheel. The MED billet clutch and flywheel assembly is waiting up with Paul, who's going to receive this engine and get it into the car. I think I'll throw along an extra oil filter, maybe an intake gasket or two. I've installed the large diameter water pump pulley. We'll have to see if you're running an alternator or what, but you may have to size a pulley to make this work. And like I did testing, slip the pulley on as the belt goes on, no tension or mechanism. This is the nice new race harmonic damper. You can see here I've made a timing pointer out of a lock tab here just to get an idea. Again, this may not be visible in the car, and this is kind of important. Down here is the factory timing tab on the underside. Now I've elected not to remove this because what may end up happening is that may be the accessible one in the installation, and what we'll do in that case is remark this pulley. Get a timing tape or something and set up your mark so that that's the timing mark that's used for checking the timing rather than the way I did it on the test stand. But that depends on the installation, so there's an option there. This line here just gives me a 180 as I'm doing the valves. This is marked in 90-degree increments, so it's really nice for doing valve adjustments, but you start at well, you start wherever you want to, and number 1, number 4, top dead center, and then run around half a turn at a time to set each cylinder's valves at its top dead center compression. I'm going to put a thermostat housing on here. I just couldn't come up with a new gasket, so I'll put that on tomorrow before I put the lid on finally. I'm also going to add some items that Carlo has ordered along inside the crate. I'm going to include an extra can of paint just sitting on the stand and moving it around. We've dinged up our green paint, so I'll throw a can of paint in the container for some touch-up. The rest of it, beautiful, beautiful. As nice as we could hope after all the test runs. Not a drop leaking. Just nothing to complain about. We'll get it boxed up and have it on its way.